It's me, Dana, or you can call me Crayon, or one of the craft creators, up to you. But today I would like to show you how to make hand paws like this. You cannot see my paw pad. So this is just going to be a short tutorial. This will be my second pair of hand paws that I've ever made. And I'm just going to start off with showing you what items you need before you begin. So to start off, you're going to need something to make a pattern or a base out of. I've decided that I'm going to use a piece of paper today, just like printer paper, standard size, and just pencil and eraser. So that's what I need for patterning, and I'm also going to need fur, some sort of fabric to make my paw pads out of, and I'm using felt today, just some scraps, scissors, thread, needle, and multiple pins. So to start off, I'm just going to trace my hands. So I have one already done here. I've decided that I only want 4 paws this time, or 4 fingers this time, because I did 5 last time and I just want to try something different. So what I did was pretty simple. Took my piece of paper, put my hand on it, did whatever I wanted with my fingers, whatever I felt was best, traced it kind of roughly, just quickly, and fleshed it out a little bit so that it was nice and thick and round. So this would be it with no seam allowance or anything added on yet. So I gave myself a little bit of like hand, so it doesn't end at the end of my hand, it's a little bit past my wrist, which is always good so that the paw will sit nicely, go underneath a shirt well, something like that. So after you trace your hand and make it a little bit thicker and rounder than your hand usually is, you're going to need to add some seam allowance. So I just made the mistake of cutting out my hand without seam allowance, so I need to trace my hand again really quickly. Now that you've traced your hand, you need to add some seam allowance. So I'm going to add like 2 or 3 centimeters of space for when we're sewing the pieces of fur together. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my scissors, go around the very edge, and we'll be ready to move on. Okay, so I've cut it out, and now we're ready to move on and start cutting our fur. Okay, so for this part you need your fur. I have some really marked up fur that I got from a thrift store for really cheap. It's really soft and short pile though, so I thought it was a good deal. What you need to do now is take your piece of paper and make sure you know the fur direction. I know it's going towards me. So I'm going to make it so that this is all correct here. And now I'm going to pin it down onto the fur. So as you can see, I have it pinned nice and flat on the fur. I'm sure that my fur direction is correct. I'm just checking that again right now. And I'm ready to cut my first piece out. I'm going to be using scissors to cut out my fur because my X-Acto knife is really, really dull. You should probably never cut faux fur with scissors because you're going to make a huge mess and you're going to have some awkward looking seams, but I'm going to try and be as careful as I can with my scissors to cut it, so I would recommend definitely don't use scissors. Okay, so I have my first piece of the hand paw cut out. It looks very uneven because of the scissors, and I'll show you what scissors do to your fur. If you can see this, it's very short here and very long here because scissors suck. The back is all marked up from someone else's old patterning on it, but that's alright with me. So this is piece one. I'm going to cut out 2 of them with this side up, then flip it and cut 2 of them with this side up. So I'm just going to go on a cutting spree and you guys can sit tight.
Turning around the court, playing against all MLG opponents. Gets the single kill, the double kill, the triple,
So I just cut a piece, but I did it with the fur direction in the wrong way. So that's a little mistake. Just remember to be cautious when you're doing this. Now I'm gonna have to go and cut another one, so I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've cut out 4 pieces, there's 2 going a certain way and 2 going the other way. I need to cut out my paw pads and prepare them to be sewn on.
Once upon a time, a few mistakes ago, I was in your sights. You got me alone. You found me. You found me. You found me.
I think I'm gonna go with the first one here. That was just a normal circle. So what I'm gonna do is cut out this and take my fabric, which I'm using just felt like I said before, and cut out 8 of them. And then I'm going to move on to the middle bigger paw pad.
The blame is on me, 'cause I knew you were trouble when you walked in. So shame on me now, flew me to places I've never been, till you put me down. Oh, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. So shame on me now.
sketched out a quick sort of round looking shape. It's like a very rounded off triangle, and I'm pretty sure this is the shape I want for my middle pad. So now I'm going to do the same, cut it out, but I'm only going to make 2 of them out of my felt. So I cut out 2 of these, and they're gonna go in the center somewhere like that. So my next step is to sew on all the paw pads, and then we will sew the 2 pieces that fit together to make an actual hand paw. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to start is take 1 of each direction, since we have 2 like this and 2 like this. They're different. The thumbs are touching instead of being both one way. So I'm going to take 1 of each direction and designate that as the underside where the paw pads will be on. I'll take this one, and I'll take this one. So those will be the 2 pieces that I will sew paw pads onto. Just took a minute here to pin all the toes and everything down perfectly so that I can start to sew. So I finished sewing all of the paw pads onto my piece here, and now I'm going to do the same with the other one that I picked, and then we'll almost be completely ready to sew it together and be finished. So what I need to do next is pin the 2 pieces together, and then I'll be ready to sew them. So after you've pinned it inside out, sewn it all up, you can flip it and you should get something like this. So this is the end of my hand paw tutorial. I hope you can learn something from this, maybe make your first set of hand paws, I'm not sure. But anyways, see you guys later.